Hey, Internet Void, and all zero people who will probably watch this video. What's up? How was your week? Hi, my name is Rachel. I am a part time reseller slash artist slash person who is obsessed with sustainability, saving things from the landfill, and trying to combine all of that into one. And it's been going great.
I'll tell you my secret, sir. I lie to myself.
Um, I did a video last week, which my boyfriend lovingly referred to as a rebrand, which is funny considering the fact that I've done maybe 6 videos total last year. So it's my rebrand of my less than stellar, uh, minimal amount of videos that have been released to the general public for me to be made fun of. So, um, yeah, I basically am trying to create a channel that is based upon all the things that I love, and also creating a business that is more community focused, ethically minded. I like to call it empathic capitalism because we all love capitalism, but it does just get exhausting when it feels like everybody wants your money and that all businesses only care about money and nothing else, and everybody else gets hurt in the process. And so I wanted to see if I could combine all of that. And at this point, I have no idea what that looks like. But I am failing spectacularly at all of it. So let's go on a journey and try and figure this shit out, right? Excuse my language. So the way I want to do this is I just think in a way so that I'm not taking too long to edit, and I'm just releasing these out so that yeah, I don't stall, because it's very easy to not release these out because God knows who could watch these and then think I'm just the biggest idiot on the face of the planet. But it's to just go through the week, see what the sales are, see what I can do to help be a little bit more community minded. 50 cents from every sale that I have goes to our local food bank, which is a Second Harvest food bank in Orange County. I also am planning on hopefully volunteering there this year. I also volunteer at a couple at a church that does kind of like a community based soup kitchen kind of thing, which has been very meaningful to me this last year. So I'm just trying to increase that. But yes, regardless of whether my sale is $5 or $500, I want to make sure that a portion of my sales is going towards helping those that are in need. And I think that food scarcity is something that we can all get behind, regardless of politics, hopefully. So that's what I'm going to do. And we'll go through this and look at the data. The biggest thing for me, technically, in running what would be considered two small businesses, is really understanding the business mentality and getting out of the employee mentality. Basically, even being an artist for so long, I've had a million day jobs, and that is a lot of times sustained me. I do get paid as a performer a lot of times, but those are, it's like sales on the platforms that I sell on. They can be fleeting, they can come and go, and sometimes it's feast and sometimes it's famine. So it's nice to have a day job where you can at least be guaranteed money. And that employee mentality is awesome because you clock in, you get paid for those hours, and if they don't pay you, you can take them to court. When it comes to reselling, it is not the same. You can put in an insane amount of time listing stuff and still not have a sale all day, which has happened to me. You can also not do anything all day, which has also happened to me, and make a crap ton of sales. So the amount of time that you're spending working isn't always a payoff right away. And so like rectifying that information in my brain and like squaring that has been really difficult. And especially in understanding margins, because there's a saying that businesses are won and lost in the margins, and it could not be like more accurate. Because I did do a video with all of my highfalutin editing, and basically, I realized at the end of the day that there is a vast difference between what is considered a gross profit and what is considered a net profit. And the way that my simple brain can like handle it is by thinking that gross profit is like the amount that the buyer pays. Like, let's say you're on eBay and the buyer pays for something. The amount that they pay total is like gross profit. And I'm sure I'm incorrect, but that is the way my brain can kind of comprehend it. And the net profit is the amount that I take away after everything is taken out. That includes the fees from the platform, the cost of goods, the shipping labels on eBay, the shipping supplies, the subscriptions like the eBay subscriptions and the Poshmark, the Posher VA, or like sharing services, all of that. For a lot of people, promoted listings, like once all of that, in taxes, like don't forget taxes, right? Once all of that's taken out, that's the amount I'm actually taking away when all is said and done. And I realized that less than half of the amount that the buyer was paying, I'm even taking home. So that has been definitely something that I've had to like really understand. So let's look at all of this, right? Yay, you can see how horrible I am at reselling. Yes. And if you're watching this, like, first of all, nobody's going to watch this, but if you happen to stumble across this and you're like a big time eBay reseller, listen, this should make you feel really good about yourself right now. Everything. So I like to resell stuff. I like to buy things from what are called the Goodwill bins. Sometimes I sell on consignment. Primarily, I'm interested in saving things from a landfill and giving them a new home. A lot of times, if I'm getting stuff from the bins, I will wash it. I will do some slight repairs, clean, all of that good stuff. And that's my personal business model, because climate change and sustainability, as I mentioned earlier, are very important. I also wear like 95% thrifted things. These lovely little cat pants, that's thrifted. This shirt, thrifted. So I also practice what I preach. But let's go through a week and see how we're doing. So for this last week, Valentine's Day week, the way that I'm planning on doing it. So we'll look at the sales and we'll look at how much is left over after just the platform fees. And those include, sales tax and stuff because the platform takes out that for you. And also shipping costs from eBay. So I sell on 3 platforms, Poshmark, Mercari, eBay. Poshmark and Mercari, I don't have to worry about shipping labels because those are provided. Especially on Mercari, I don't do free shipping. I just let Mercari handle the shipping stuff and I just put the weight in. But with eBay, you have to purchase a label. So, I have a flat shipping rate that I charge. A lot of times it is less than what the actual shipping charge is, especially if it's been listed for a while, because I don't update that information, which is probably stupid, but I feel like it's a built-in discount. So something sits for a while, shipping prices go up. So they're already getting a discount. And as things get more expensive, my stuff starts to come to the top of, when a lot of people sort by price, lowest to highest, which is, a lot of times how I shop and how I feel like a lot of people shop. But without talking to a lot of people, it's hard to know for sure. So anyways, built-in discount, yes. Stupid, yes. Maybe. And we'll look at the take home after those 2 things. Then at the end of the month, let's look at everything else being taken out and see what the actual net profit and how much I'm actually taking away for the month. Okay. Great. Let's start this. And the way I'm looking at sales is because sales come in at all times. I just looking at how many things went to the post office that day. So Monday we had sales on all 3 platforms, eBay, Poshmark, and Mercari. 2 on eBay. We had a lovely girl's Encanto Disney dress. And we also had a vintage 1957 Latter-day Saints Church recipe booklet. The Encanto dress was $10 with $4 shipping. So what eBay released to me was $11.82. And with the Latter-day Saints recipe book, it was $18 and $4.75 shipping, which was $18.68 that was released to me. On Poshmark, there was a vintage butterfly pillowcase that was sold for $10, which $7.05 was released to me. And on Mercari, there was a black boho free people dress that was sold for $13.50 and $11.36 was released to me. So we had $48.91, which is the amount of money that the platforms released to me. And shipping was $5.77 for the Encanto dress and $5.22 for the recipe book. Grand total $37.92. So now if you're saying to yourself, I can't survive on $37.92, you would be correct. And that's like, we haven't taken out taxes and all the other junk yet. So, and that's for sales, right? So there you go. And if you're saying that you're selling things that are too cheap, that are too low priced, fair. A lot of times I feel like as I'm trying to save, because all of these things, every single one of these things was from the bins. So it was a win for me to save them from the landfill. Not a win that, I'm selling things so cheap, but discuss. On Tuesday, nothing. 0. So on Wednesday, we sent 4 things to the post office. 2 from eBay and 2 from Poshmark. On eBay, we have a sabaku. I am totally going to butcher the pronunciation of that. A bird flight shirt. It's a really cool boutique style of clothing. And it was sold for $11 and $6 shipping. eBay released $14.44 to me. And then we have a vintage 1976 superstar Barbie, who was in rough condition, especially her hair. But I sold it for $25 and $7.50 shipping. eBay released $27.97. Now, I sold it on commission, so half of the profits, once the fees and the shipping is taken out, goes to the person I was selling it for. So hold on to that for a sec. On Poshmark, we have a Corningware Spice of Life dish, which I've had for a million years. That sold for $20, and Poshmark released $16 to me. Then we have a vintage Lord & Taylor sheer blue floral women's button-up shirt that sold for $15, and Poshmark released $12 to me. And then we have this really fun handmade baseball Dodgers doll apron. It was really cool. I mean, I'm in Los Angeles, so it's there's Dodger everything here. So finding stuff at the bins that is Dodger themed is not hard. And that only sold for $8, and Poshmark's releasing $5.05. Now, when it comes to shipping, the bird top was $6.22, and the shipping for the Barbie was $7.22. So the commission, remember I said to bookmark that, for the Barbie doll ended up being $10.37. So after all of that math is done, I had $51.65. And again, that's not my net. It's just after fees and shipping is taken out. There's still all the other stuff. I like to call it my pre-knit. Thursday I have class, which is fun. I have an acting class, which, is super fun. So half my day is usually gone on that. But we had those sales, and the first one was a vintage Fanini orange Native American inspired top with beading on it. It was really fun. Had it for a while. It sold for $20 with $6 shipping, so eBay released $22.10. And then Poshmark, there was a bundle of 3 paper dolls. I have a mountain of paper dolls that I'm selling. They were my mom's, who unfortunately passed away about a year and a half ago. She collected them, and I have so much stuff from my mom, and so I wanted all of these paper dolls to go to a good home. So I'm excited that somebody ordered 3 of them. And that bundle was $56. There was $11.20, which is, I have what's called a bundle discount on Poshmark. So if you just somebody who likes to purchase online, like from these platforms, Poshmark has a really great thing where a lot of sellers can offer bundle discounts if you buy more than one thing, which is really great because Poshmark has a flat shipping label that they give you up to £5. So it makes it, because shipping is freaking expensive, so it makes it more valuable for the buyer without the cost to the seller. It's one way the buyer can save money. Anyways, so these 3 paper doll books ended up being $35.84. That was released to me from Poshmark. Shipping for the Native American inspired top was $5.79. So the amount of money that I took home at the end of the day, which my pre-net, we'll just coin that phrase, is $52.15. So we're getting up there with sales. Still, if somebody's making $52 in a day, which I'm sure there are some people in the country who do, which is insane, you can't live off of that. Friday, I had a fun hair appointment. Thank you, Madison Reed, which is a subscription hair color place in Southern California. I don't know how many other places they have, if they're all over the country or if it's just a California thing. I hate subscriptions, but man, oh man, this has been fabulous. They did a great job. The prices on haircuts, at least in California, have been insane. Last year, I was paying $120, $130 for root touch up and a cut or whatever. Now it's $300. So thank you, Madison Reed, for helping me to not look crazy. Anyways, we had one sale. And that is a pair of Brighton sunglasses, which was given to me, so there was no cost of goods, but we're not in that right now. But it sold for $25 and $6.50 shipping. eBay released $26.79. Shipping was $5.55. So the grand total was $21.24. Anyways, so we have a total of 12 sales, just taking out fees and shipping. That is $162.96 that I made for the week, which is basically part-time pay, right? And that's the amount of time that I put into it, to be quite honest, because as I mentioned, I have a whole nother thing that I'm doing, which is a whole nother business. So better than the week before. Let's keep going. Let's do the evaluation, right? That you get as an employee. What's going well? What am I doing well? Well, I am doing my best at getting these things that sell out the door as fast as possible. I am doing my best at making sure that I package them up well. And so I am happy with the way that, in general, I do business. Can it still improve? Yes. Something to work on to help, because $150 something, and that's before taxes and all that stuff, is not enough to sustain anybody. So how can I do better? Well, funny you should ask. I have what is lovingly referred to as a death pile. So I have so much stuff still that needs to be listed. Um, that's what I'm going to focus on. And I just, before I go out and get any more stuff, just trying to get all of this listed so that I'm able to really assess everything. I have no control over what people are looking for or why they're looking for it. All I can do is do the best job at listing things with good descriptions, doing a good job getting stuff out the door, and making sure it gets to the buyer in a great condition, or at least the condition that I listed it as. And then once I've listed everything, I can then better assess things. And also too, I'm going to be learning while I'm listing this stuff, like these are already decisions that I've made. So next time when I go to the bins, I can make better decisions. I can see what sells, what doesn't, even though things will change. So what won't sell this year may sell the next year, or what is cool right now. Like right now, lace is really big, but before, not so much. So it's just, you know, there's a lot of uncertainty that goes with all of this. And how can I be better for my community? So, uh, let's say my goal for this next week is to make sure that I sign up to volunteer at the Second Harvest Food Bank, because not only do I want to donate money, I need to put my money where my mouth is and be a part of the solution, you know. And also too, I'm donating to this organization and I've never volunteered there. Like it'd be cool to check it out and see like where my money is going. So that's pretty much about it. We're done. Um, yeah, if you stuck around to the end, if anybody found this video, thank you. No need to hit any buttons or whatever. I don't know you. I don't know your life. You do what is in your best interest. But if you stuck around to the end just listening to some idiot talking, I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Carpe Diem, you all. And yeah, still can't wait for all the hate comments.